All praise to the Most High, Yahshua, Bashem, Mashiach, Yeshai. This again, Akshama of the Holy Seed of Jeshurun. I had some little technical difficulties with the phone, but we're just going to get through it, all right? This is going to be part 2, picking up right where we left off with the Scriptural Timeline, all right? We were in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 25. So we're breaking down 515 years. The year that our forefathers came out of Babylon and began to rebuild the temple, right? We read in Daniel 9:25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore, to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, which we did a calculation of 7 years, being 7 Jubilee years, 350 days, 350 years, and we subtracted that from 515, right? Subtracted that from 515. All right. Let's get that math work. 515 from 350, which gave us 165. And then we subtracted the 46 years that the temple was in building that we read in John chapter 2, St. John chapter 2, which put us at 119 BC, right? And so now we're going to finish the verse. And I broke down to y'all earlier how Daniel chapter 9 and verse 25, it says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore, to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, semicolon, right? We broke that down into 7 as an individual time frame of 7 jubilees of 350 years. Then it says, unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, semicolon, and 60 and 2 weeks. So 60 is 60, 1 is 20, 2 weeks being 2 years, and the 7 weeks, so that's 69 years in total, right? So it says, so we got 69 years in total, all that. Read it again. Now therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore, to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince, this is the space, shall be 7 weeks, 60 and 2 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even unto troublous time. So now we subtract the 69, which is 60, 7 weeks and 2 weeks, 69 years from the 119, and that gives us 50 years on the dot, 1 jubilee, right? So it's within this jubilee, mind you. First video I showed you from Adam to Moses is 2,450 years. So it's 50 years shy of a complete 50 jubilees. Read in Jubilees, it was 49 Jubilees from Adam to Moses, which is 2,450 years. So that 50 is this 50 right here, and this is the Jubilee that Yeshai was on the earth. You understand? That's within this Jubilee. The Jubilee isn't, you don't count the Jubilee when it's over, you count it coming into it, right? So 2,450 years, the next 50 years is the 50th Jubilee from creation. All right, y'all follow me. All right, going over the template one more time. Most High said in Genesis chapter 6, 120 years should my spirit strive with men, right? 120 times 50, which is a jubilee, is 6,000 years. 2,450 years from Adam to Moses, and then from Moses, from the building of the temple, from Moses to the second return of Yeshua is 3,500 years. The 2,450 plus the 3,500 gives us 5,950 years, and the odd 50 or Jubilee, we just brought it right here, and this is the time when Yeshua was on the earth, right? All glory to the Most High. Now, verse 26, and after 60 and 2 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince shall come, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary and the flood city and the sanctuary and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. So within this Jubilee, right, these things are going to be happening, all right, with Yeshai and the temple, right? No, not the temple, within Yeshai and things going on in Israel. Now, verse 27 says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. This is a 7-year period, that week, right? And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Now, if you do your study, the Romans who were governing Judea when Yeshua was on the earth, they came in 66 AD and decided to take down the residue of Israel that did not take heed to the prophecy that Yeshua said that they should flee into the mountains. All right, let's read that right quick. Let's read that in Luke 21 and 24. Luke 21. Let's just start Luke at 21:20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. So the Romans came down and encompassed Judea, right? And started, attacking, just killing everybody indiscriminately. And those that were still there, that didn't take heed to this prophecy and fleeing to the mountains, which is the Atlas Mountains of Northwest Africa, they were put to death, right? So, when we read here, it says, he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. It's from 66 to 73 AD that this happened, right? This was the destruction of our people. And it says that, and in the midst of the week, in the midst of those 7 years, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Now, what is the sacrifice? Let's go back into the law so we can get a scriptural definition of what a sacrifice is, right? Let's see. This is Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 3. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, right? So this is a lamb, goat. Let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Most High. So this is an animal. So the sacrifice is an animal. And what is an animal? Food. So he said he's going to make back in Daniel 9 and 27, and in the midst of the week, in the midst of the 7 years that they came around Jerusalem from 66 AD to 73 AD, he was going to cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. So they were not going to have food to eat or offer sacrifice unto the Most High. This is what it's saying. They're going to take away the food. You ain't going to be able to eat, right? And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate. So the Roman system of destruction, which is through the beast, which is through false indoctrination, through false religion, through false doctrine, is going to be overspread. And at this point, they're just killing them. All right, it's all through destruction, but at this point, they're just killing them, right? And just putting their abominable empire just in complete authority over what's going on there, right? And it says, and for the overspreading, after this, they just kept on conquering, right? Of abominations, and he shall make it desolate. He made Jerusalem desolate. And Masada, which was the last place in 73 AD, that they circled around, put a trench around, didn't allow them to get food, caused the oblation to cease, didn't allow them to go in and out of their gates to get food, and they were starving to death. Right? This is what happened when he caused the oblation to cease. They weren't able to get food, they starved to death. And those that didn't starve to death, they were killed by the sword when the Romans finally went in and killed them. So it's either famine or the sword, they were put to death. Halfway down in Daniel 9 and 27, abominations, he shall make it desolate even unto the consummation. Consummation is the judgment times, right? This is the times when the Most High is going to start bringing judgment on the earth for us, Yasha'Allah, and the heathen, right? And it's going to continue all the way up until Yeshua gets here. and thereon, until he subdue all and put all nations under his feet. All right? And that determined shall be poured out on the desolate. Everything that is already prophesied, determined upon the desolate, being the heathen or those of Israel that's not Israel. All right, that's not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's going to happen. It says that determined is going to be poured out. You're going to get your judgment. You're going to get your reward. Right? Now, that's the surface understanding. Now, we got the revelation understanding. The week that is 7 years also pertains to the last 7 years of the last Jubilee, leading up to the glorious return of Mashiach Yeshua. Right? Now, you remember when we went over in Daniel about a time, times, and beginning of time, which equates to a year, time, 2 years, times, and dividing of time, half a year. That's 3.5 years, y'all. We're going to break down the last 7 years in half and half, 3.5, 3.5, right? And this is what's going on right now. Okay, they're going to take away the food. All right. You don't have the COVID vaccine. They're going to say, oh, no, you're not coming to the store buying nothing. We don't care if you got a mask now. We want to see that you've been given a jab. Right. This is how it's going to go. And those that are going to not take it, they're going to be losing their food. You know, they're going to eat it up. They're going to run out of food. They're going to starve. A lot of them going to die. Okay. Also, you're going to have pillaging. People who haven't took the mark, they're going to run in people's house, steal their food, because they can't buy either. And people are going to be dying. And it's going to be same thing as 70 AD. Right? Same thing, y'all. It's about to happen, right? Y'all in Babylon, this is what I want y'all to know. Now, let's stay in Daniel, and let's go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 9. And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. This is why this is getting revealed right now. Any of y'all grew up in the Christian church, your mama, your grandpa, your great-grandpa been in church, and they didn't know this. It's because it wasn't the time for this to be revealed. Okay, all things are done in the Most High time and his season, right? Verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. These are those that are coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, rubbing the filth of the sin of the iniquity that we've been walking in all these years off, and making themselves clean through the faith in Yeshua, right? Because this is his blood that cleanses us from all our sin we've been doing, consciously and unconsciously. Okay, we're being made white, and we're going to be tried. Okay, we try to see if you're really going to stick with the Most High. You're going to be faithful until death, if His will. You're going to be tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly. Those that don't want to come back to the commandments, that think, oh, I ain't under the law, or think, oh, I got time. Mashiach ain't coming back yet. Those that are wicked, it says the wicked shall do wickedly. They're going to continue to do what they do. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. All the wicked are not going to know what's going on. In a couple months, when things are just going to be looking like they don't make sense, when they're not going to let you travel to and fro freely in a free country. Talking about Babylon right now. Not going to let you buy things. They're not going to let you roam about freely unless you got this jab. Things are going to change up. You're not going to understand. But the wise, us that have been reading the scriptures, seeking the Most High, we know exactly what's about to happen. We've been prudent. We've been preparing. Right? And that's why we then came out of her, which is Babylon, and relocated to the land the Most High told us, promised that He would protect us. Right? We enjoyed it. All right? All glory to the Most High. I'm in Petra right now. All praise to the Most High, right? In the wilderness. So understand, this is why we're going through this, for you to know what time it is, all right? This is verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. So when the time comes, when it's mandatory, right? For you to have this jab, or you can't buy or sell, can't go in the stores, which is coming up real soon here, y'all. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away and the abomination of naked desolate set up, this is the beast system through the RFID chip, connecting to your cryptocurrency, your Bitcoin, all of that, taking away tangible money and making everything electronic, including you, having RFID chips floating all through your bloodstream, right? Until the mark of the beast system is set up. There shall be 1,290 days. All right. So 1,260 days is 3.5 years, y'all. Do the math. It says From the time the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there should be 1,290 days. This is 3 years and 7 months. All right. This is the last 3 years and 7 months of the last week or 7 years in the last Jubilee. All right. Right now, we're at about, let's see, our Hebrew New Year started March 6th. So you got 1 month, March 6th to March, April, you got May. So we in May right now, right? We're almost 3 months into the, almost 3 months into the 4th year, right? We're in the 4th year of the 7, all right? We're 3 months into the 4th year of the last 7, right? Now, in about 2.5 months, we're going to be at this point where it's 1,290 days. Yeah, where this is going to be mandatory. It's going to be set up. Yes, even here in Jordan. Yes, they've already made a declaration. All right? So, when you get our halfway point, mind you, our new year starting in March, right? March, April, May, June, July. March, so all of March, April, May, June, July, August, September, which is our most holy month. The first week of September, all right, that's going to be the 3.5 year mark right there. Why am I telling you that? It's very important. That's going to be your 1,260 days, all right? Your 3.5 year mark. Now, verse 12 says, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. So this is 1,335 days from the beginning of the 7-year period, going past 3.5 year mark and going 75 more days, which is basically 75 days past the 3.5 year mark I just told you in September. This is what it says. And what does it say about that time? It says, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to that time. So we're trying to make it to the 1,335 days to be blessed. Right? Verse 13, but go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in the lot at the end of thy days. So this is the understanding we're showing. We're in the last 7 years, y'all, and we're close to the last 3.5 years of the 7 years in which they're about to take away your rights, your everything, man. You think everything's about to get cool. You got sports opening up, bars, restaurants, no more COVID vaccine, masks. That's just to lure you in. Don't y'all know that was the best thing that could happen to you when they put you in COVID, because it made you go back to primal living in a way. It made you start doing things you haven't been doing yourself. You going out to eat, buying all this food. Oh, now you cooking. You working out, paying $40 to go to the gym. Oh, now you working out at home, doing calisthenics, and you start using your money for things that you really should use it for. Now, it's all open everything up. Now they're luring you back. This is the hour of temptation. They're tempting you to get back out there with, look, you can go back to the stadiums, cheer your favorite sports teams on. You can go out and club again and smile, laugh with your friends. No, it's this. They're tempting you to get back out there, but it's a price. You got to take this jab. You understand, y'all? You understand? This is what's going on. Now, we jump into Revelation to break down the rest of this. Revelation chapter 11. Verse 1, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and them that worship therein. This is a people, this is Yashala, right? But the court which is without the temple leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. If you do the math on 42 months, that's 3.5 years again. You understand? Yes. So they trotting down Jerusalem right now. This is the first 42 months of the 7 years. They're trying it down right now, but you see it's a lot of war popping off over there right now, don't you? Gaza, what they do, 4,000 missiles, man. Within 11 days, 4,000 missiles, man. Hezbollah lobbed over a couple, Palestinians was riding with them. It's going down over there, right? All the stuff is going down. Okay, glory to the Most High. So, verse 3, it says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Here's this 1,263 squares is 60 days again. All right, this is the first 1,260 days that the brethren been prophesying on our streets, highways, and byways, on social media, like I'm on right now, warning, Yash Allah of the dangers and the perils that's coming, teaching them, to come back to the history and heritage of who they are, you so-called blacks, Native Americans, Seminole, Indians, and so-called Mexicans of Aztec, Negro descent, that you are the Israelites. You got to come back to the commandments, all right? This is what they've been doing. I will give power to my 2 witnesses. Let's break these 2 witnesses down right quick. That would be in, let me see, Jeremiah 11. Let's see, Jeremiah 11. Let's go back. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go. Hold on. 23. Let's go to Jeremiah 23. 23. Okay, so when we see in the scriptures, it says, I'm going to break this all the way down. I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the power of the earth. So we want to define who they are, right? We want to define who they are. Salakia, y'all. Okay, it says, so the two witnesses, the 2 olive trees, and the 2 candlesticks are all the same thing, right? So 2 olive trees. So we go to Jeremiah 11 and 11 and 16. It tells you that the Most High called thy name a green olive tree. He's talking to Israel. Jeremiah is a prophet unto the nation of Israel. The Most High called thy name a green olive tree, fair and goodly with fruit. So the 2 olive trees is the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah, right? The 2 sticks. Let's go to 5. Jeremiah 5 and 14, I think it is. Jeremiah 5 and no, not John 5, 14. Jeremiah 20. Oh, so like okay, 37. That's Ezekiel. 37. It's not 37 and 16. 37. It's my 37 and 16. Moreover, son of man, take thee 1 stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel for his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. So that's the southern kingdom of Judah and northern kingdom of Ephraim, and join them one to another into 1 stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people will speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what this meaneth by these? Say unto them, thus saith the higher power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them 1 stick, and they shall be one in my hand, and the sticks wherein thou writest shall be in thine hand, therefore thine hand before their eyes. So these 2 sticks, these 2 candlesticks, and these 2 olive trees is representative of the northern and southern the northern tribe of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah, all being one house, again being brought together. And these are the ones that are prophesying on the street. right? And it says they should prophesy 1,260 days and clothes in sackcloth, right? Verse 5, and if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Now, has this happened yet? Yes, it's been happening. Let's get that, right? This has been happening. Let's go to Jeremiah. So they said fire is going to proceed out of their mouth, and in this manner shall they be killed. Anybody been burnt up out of somebody's mouth? Yeah, I'll show you right now. This is Jeremiah 23 and verse 29. It says, is not my word like as a fire, saith the Most High, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. So when the brethren are speaking the word, they're speaking fire, right? And they're judging people according to the second death. So the manner that they should be killed is that they're being told the truth. The blood is being taken off their head because they brought forth their understanding. And if that brother or that sister don't receive the truth, that second death is what they're experiencing right then. Because they're denying the truth, they're denying the salvation, they're denying the mercy the Most High is giving them to come back to the truth. Let's get one more precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 14. Wherefore thus saith the higher power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. You understand? So all the prophesying that our brethren that have been out there teaching the truth, putting their lives in line to win souls unto the Most High, this is the fulfillment of his prophecy. It's been going on. Now you got the famine of the word that's about to be right here in your face. Okay, because they're not letting people go out in certain places. You got to have, people can't group together, certain amount of people anymore, So it's about to be a famine in the word, and you're not going to be able to get this truth unless you've been listening, unless you've been studying, unless you've been hearkening unto the word of the Most High, and you got it in your heart now. Enough of it, all right? You got to be coming out of her. That's a revelation, you understand? You need to be coming out of her, right? We can get one more precept in Sirach. Let's get apocryphal precept, Sirach 48 and 1. And we'll move on. Sirach 48 and 1. He then stood up Elijah the prophet as fire, and his word burnt like a lamp. Right? All praise to the Most High. Then it says, let's get on down to verse 6. These have power, the two witnesses, the two candlesticks, the two olive trees. These have power to shut heaven that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over water to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. Days of rain have been held fast, glory to the Most High, through the prophecy. I don't know if you know, I'm from LA. It has been, they're in drought right now. And they're talking about that's going to be an issue this summer because there's no reserves that have been caught up in the reservoirs of water. All right. Also, turning the waters to blood. Their prophecy been happening all over. I don't know if his brethren speaking these things. And us brethren, yes, we do have the power to curse brothers, curse people, that come against the prophets and the men of the Most High. That's been going forward. And to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. I don't know if a brother probably smited the earth, with this COVID thing, man. All right. But there's other plagues, man. There's cancer, there's high blood pressure, there's gout. There's all these are plagues, okay? You can call them diseases. They're all plagues, all right? We have this authority under the power of the Holy Ghost to do these things. Paul, he sent plagues on people for bucking up against the truth. And it's one man that he cursed, sent him blind. He said, you're going to be going forth blind. Somebody got to lead him by the hand for a season. You ain't got no vision. We have this power, y'all, that we can use righteously according to the word. And a lot of us don't know about this power. We say we got the Holy Spirit because we have the understanding of the scripture, but there's power in the Ruach HaKodesh, all right? Power to cast out principalities, destroy demons, all that. We just need to tune into that, all right? All right, going on to verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. It's the Roman Empire. They're going to come at us head up real soon. Because everybody knows what's up, man. You got Iran talking about who the Israelites are. Egypt talking about who the Israelites are. Everyone's talking about it now. Like, y'all over there in our land tripping. And so they're just pulling out all the stops. Everyone's talking about everything now, man. It's almost common knowledge now who the real Israelites are. And so with this, hey, we got to kill Jacob so we make sure we can get the inheritance. Because we can't let them go back and then possess the land the Most High gave them, or we're done. Because remember, the promises was that Jacob's brother and their mother's son shall serve thee. So Esau knows he got to serve Jacob. And so he's like, they're going to start killing us all, because if it's one of us remaining, one man, that means they can't get the inheritance. It's still a living heir. Y'all understand? They're going to start coming at us, killing us soon. And it says, let's read it again. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that descended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. This is Babylon, where our master was crucified. Now let's show them how the master was crucified through us. This is Galatians chapter 2 and verse 20. I am crucified with Christ. So this is how we crucify, by standing up with the truth and speaking it. I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Yeshua liveth in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Ahiah, who loved me and gave himself for me. All praise him to the name of Ahiah Bashem Yeshua. So we have been crucified with him, and we're going to continue to be crucified with him coming up here, because the truth is out, the gig is up, and they're going to come and they're going to crucify us. And it says over here in Sodom and Egypt, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, that's Babylon, y'all. Why? Because it's homosexuality running rampant over there. And you got the children of Israel in bondage, just like they were in ancient Egypt. They're in bondage there, serving hardcore labor, servitude. You understand? And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The great city is Babylon, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified. Right? And it says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. That's another representation of what? Right, 3.5 years. So the first 3.5 years, they prophesying, doing anything. The last 3.5 years, they're not going to have no power. We're going to go into that in a second. And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. It's going to be like Juarez, Mexico. If y'all know anything about Juarez, Mexico, they hang dead bodies from the street, cut their heads off, strip them naked, and hang their dead body in the street. It's crazy over there. People die, multiple people die there daily. That place is a war zone, for real, for real. Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth, and also that precept lets you know, and they of the people and the kindreds and the tongues and the nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. All right, this is everybody watching. Those that stood up for the truth, getting slaughtered. Like, man, they shouldn't have did that. Of Israel and out of Israel. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall sing gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on earth. Tormented them with the truth, because we shut down their happy-go-lucky times, their heaven, and bringing in the truth that the kingdom to come under righteousness, under Yeshua, is real nigh. So they don't like hearing, y'all living on stolen land, or y'all have deceived and you fake Jews putting yourself up as the real ones. They don't want to hear that. They want to continue with their folly, continue with the deceit, continue with the lies, so they continue to just spoil the earth. They're destroying the earth, man. Straight up. Verse 11, and after 3 days and a half, so after the 3.5 years are over, the spirit of life from Ahiah entered into them, and they stood up on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So this is when Yeshua get back. Now they're going to get resurrected. And they heard a voice from heaven saying unto them, and they heard a great voice, Salakia, from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Yeah, let's read the precept for that in Thessalonians 4 and 26. And it reads, First Thessalonians. Let's see. Go back. 4 and 16. For the master himself shall descend from heaven with a shout and the voice of the archangel and with the trump of a hyena, and the dead in Yeshai shall rise first. And then we which are alive and remain, these are those that are in Jordan, in the place where the Most High promised to protect us, if it be his will, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the master in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yeshua. This is how it's going to go, you guys. All right? This is actually how it's going to go. Now, breaking down one more thing with the last 7 years. All right? We're going to get that, and then that'll be the lesson. Okay. Let's get that. Okay. Hold on. Not here. Okay. So, understand. I want to go over something. Verse 3. It says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. This is Revelation 11 and 3. So the first 3.5 years is almost over, y'all. It's going to be over September when we have power. From there, 75 days to 1,335 days is what we're trying to get to. 75 days past the 3.5 year mark is what we're trying to get to, so we can be blessed. Where will we be blessed? Where the Most High promised to protect us. Alright? Where the Most High promised to protect us. Alright, let's go there right quick, break that down. Let's just go to Hosea. Alright. Hosea 2:14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her, this is Israel, and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. This is when we get the new covenant, y'all. And I will give her her vineyards from thence in the valley of Achor, which is right up yonder here, for a door of hope, and she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. This is what he said he's going to do, y'all. Let's go to Isaiah 43 as well. And behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth, shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. A lot of people think, oh, y'all gonna be out there starving, famine, y'all can't buy or sell, y'all gonna be out there, gonna die. Nah, Most High said he's gonna put a river out there in the wilderness. All right, let's read it. I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Verse 20, the beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. Right? Most High is going to be our provision. That's why we're not going to have to be worried about buying or selling. He's going to be our provision. Let's get a little bit more. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. And it says, Ezekiel 38, and let's see. Verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, that's Jerusalem, and is gathered out of many peoples against the mountains of Israel, which have always been waste, but is brought forth out of the nation, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Dropping down to 11, it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, I will go out to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. This is how this is going to be the Most High is going to be protecting us. That's why we're not going to have no bars, no gates. We're going to sleep outside. We're not going to be worrying about nothing. Let's get another one. Zechariah 2:4. And said unto them, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited. Jerusalem being the people, Israel, shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, saith the higher, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. We're going to be the ones that's going to be protected by the Most High. We ain't worried about nothing. Verse 6, Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, North America, saith the Most High, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, saith the Most High Power. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon. Get up yourself and get up out of there, because you don't barely